Hey everyone, Gill Gross here. Alex Minaur versus Alexander Bublik, Paris Masters 2025 quarterfinal. If you're not here for spoilers, click off the video. Quarterfinal number 2 of our post-match analysis marathon in the books. And congratulations to Sasha Bublik into his first ever Masters 1000 semifinal. And a little bonus, we predicted it here on Monday Match Analysis to make up for the Alcaraz to win it all prediction. Nice to get that one right, considering especially that it had never happened before. Bublik beats de Minaur in a very tight 3-set match, 7-5 in the third. He had dropped the opening set in a tiebreak, and this was a match that was definitely a few points here or there, and who is going to come up with something. So I want to go through those key points, starting with the first set tiebreak, which de Minaur did win. At 5-6, we were on serve, and it was basically a classic defensive point by de Minaur. Bublik hit a backhand down the line in the midst of this rally that really should have won him the point. And not only did it not win him the point, it didn't even generate a short ball. It was just lightning speed by de Minaur to cut off that ball, take it deep back cross court, get back to neutral. Eventually, he got that rally back to Bublik's forehand, and Sasha kind of overspun a forehand cross court into the net. That was the first set. A lot transpired before that set point that I think is worth pointing out. I think Bublik should have had this first set tiebreak. On balance, I feel like all the ingredients were there for him to take it if he made better decisions. He did get 2 mini breaks, which for Bublik's serve should probably be enough. He got 2 mini breaks because de Minaur hit a couple of +1 forehand approach shots that were not damaging enough, and Bublik was able to come up with forehand passing shots off of them. But he returned the favor, Bublik did, with a couple of bad decisions. A serve and volley on a second serve, which is a play that I mainly just blanket statement don't like. Bublik didn't even go after this second serve, and I just didn't really understand. It looked like it had no chance from the start. As soon as he hit the serve, comfortable, low return by de Minaur, pass on the next shot, and it was kind of like, all right, what was that? Like, what was the plan there? Especially if you're not going to take a little bit of risk on the second serve to make sure it's an effective serve that sets up a good first volley. Didn't do that. There's also a drop volley that Bublik hit that shouldn't have been a drop volley. Bublik found himself at net. De Minaur hit a passing shot from at least 5 feet inside the baseline, hard and above the level of the net. So we've got 3 ingredients here. We've got a lot of incoming pace. That makes a drop volley difficult. We've got de Minaur inside the court. That makes a drop volley difficult because your opponent is already halfway to the net. Tough to get it to bounce twice in front of them in that case. And the ball is above the level of the net, which makes it a lot more feasible to hit a hard stick volley with a lot of pace. To me, all of the variables suggested that Bublik should have hit a hard volley. Instead, he hit a drop volley, popped it up. De Minaur was there easily, and he put it away. The third rough moment of the tiebreak for Bublik, this wasn't as much of a bad decision, but at 5-all, the point that set up the set point, 5-all, second serve, de Minaur hit a pretty slow, hanging serve right into the forehand pocket of Bublik, and he just couldn't measure it. He blasted it long. Not a bad decision. I like that Bublik went after it, but obviously a painful ball to miss. So that was the first set tiebreak. Another thing, though, that wouldn't have necessarily jumped out, but I was thinking about it after the first set, especially after the tiebreak, was that Bublik's first serve was just kind of meh. Wasn't really hitting targets. Was predictable on the big points going into de Minaur's forehand. Not that, and that's a Bublik preference. Bublik likes to hit the right side of the ball, to come around the right side of the ball and hit his slice serve, especially on the ad side. Doesn't like to go wide with that more pronated serve. So he's kind of predictable, wasn't really hitting his targets. And, you know, I thought the ball was there for de Minaur to make returns more often than not. And I was like, all right, well, that's got to change moving forward. And it absolutely did. If you look at the ace totals throughout the match, you could see how much more deadly Bublik was able to be with his serve as the match progressed. He hit only 3 aces in set 1, but he ended up with he hit only 2 aces in set 1, but he ended up with 16 for the match. And his first serve was essentially untouchable in the second set and the third set. First serve points won in the second set, 15 out of 16. And in the third set, 20 out of 22. That is a staggering number. Really good stuff by Bublik, who ends up with a 9.2 on serve quality based on our metrics from the Courtside Advantage database, Tennis Viz TDI. So Bublik's serve really shows up to the party. He was also spectacular to break serve at 1-all in the second set from 30-all with a unbelievable forehand half volley on the full stretch. A great passing shot with the backhand down the line by Minaur. Bublik ranging over, half volleying from no man's land, getting it short cross court into the open court for a winner. Just fantastic. And then on the break point, gunning a forehand return inside in for a clean winner. And this is a first serve return we're talking about. Third set, they go down the stretch. And I thought Bublik was applying the majority of the pressure throughout the set. And I just couldn't believe how many times Minaur was able to get out of holes with his serve. 3-all. Or actually, let's back up. 1-all, love 30. Ace wide, and Minaur gets to 30-all. 3-all in the third set. Another 15-30. Ace-T. And now Minaur is at 40-30. That game goes to deuce, but he would hold. 4-all. 15-40, couple of break points. Ace-T, ace wide. Now it's add in for Minaur. Hold serve. But at 5-all, the collapse. The collapse of the Minaur serve. He misses 4 first serves in a row, and he double faults at 30-40 break point to give Bublik the decisive break of serve. Also, a bad backhand miss at 30-all. Just routine +1 ball that Minaur tried to go against the grain at the Bublik forehand just to try to, I think, set the rally on Bublik's weaker side, which was a good idea. Somehow it just ended up looking really stiff, tight, and he pushed it long. So an uncharacteristic miss there. But also Bublik made a good adjustment on the second serve of Minaur. He ended up just pressing in a little bit to take more time away. Now, Bublik wanted to have time to take a big cut on the second serve return. And he's got pretty long swings, especially on the forehand. So it was important to Bublik that he could take a full cut. But in the first set, he was sacrificing a lot of court to do so. And in the second and the third set, I think Bublik just figured out, look, I don't need to stand that deep. Minaur's second serve is coming in slow enough that I have enough time to take a good, healthy swing at the ball and stand in. So now I've got the double whammy. I'm taking time away. I'm, with my pace and my court position. And he ends up really having a lot of success against Minaur's second serve in the third set. Because in the first set, he did not. And in the second set, he did not. It wasn't until the third set when Bublik was able to really eat into Minaur's second serve and get that win rate well under 50%. What was the average second serve speed for Minaur? Actually wasn't so bad. It was 101 miles per hour. Not terrible, but 9 double faults for Alex. So he really started to feel the pressure and in general was just kind of unreliable on his second serve throughout the match. It's kind of hard to assess Minaur's serving overall because there were moments in which his first serve was really helping him out, like lending him a real helping hand under pressure. But then there were also moments where he was getting far below par out of his serve. So it was kind of just an up and down performance for de Minaur on that particular shot. Another thing that kind of came alive for Bublik, and it helped him down the stretch, was the drop shot, which he totally put away for 2 sets. Just didn't really hit it. And this was one of the things that was fascinating coming into the match. You knew that there was going to be some chess here. And essentially with de Minaur, you have a guy who likes to hug the baseline. He's lightning quick, and he's competent, actually more than competent at the net. Excellent at the net. So these are sort of the 3 attributes that make a guy really hard to drop shot. You mind your court position, you're fast, and you're good at the net. You've got good hands up there. You know what you're doing in the cat and mouse. I mean, de Minaur is just really tough to drop shot. Bublik, you know he likes to go to it. He doesn't really want to, like, he's always looking to break up the point and sort of look towards a finish. And I think it's really good that Bublik does this, first of all, just to, keep his opponents guessing and off balance, and especially with the first serve that he has, I think he's able to take more risk in his return games to try to be more spectacular. He has that sort of extra leeway to do that. And he's got great hands. Like, the execution on his drop shots are terrific. So it's something that you don't want Bublik to totally get away from it necessarily, but you also understand against de Minaur why you just don't feel like it's available, and you might want to just shelf it. Well, that's what Bublik did. He shelved it for 2 sets. He tucked away the drop shot. He opted for the power tools. And for a lot of the match, I was kind of impressed that Bublik was able to just take a simpler approach to offense, blast, and actually do it pretty well, especially on the forehand. But there were also moments where it felt like de Minaur was getting a win out of that, because Bublik, he can get a little bit of erratic on the forehand when he's trying to inject pace, which was certainly the case at times today. The backhand is more stable, but there were also some footwork issues on the Bublik backhand, and certainly there were times in which that shot got a little bit shaky, and you thought to yourself, ooh, is this just the fact that Bublik feels like he has to blast through de Minaur and he's not able to sort of execute his typical style of just mixing offensive drive and drop shot? Is that sort of leading to more errors? Well, in the 3rd set, Bublik started to hit his drop shot, and at first missed it, everything short into the net. He was clearly intimidated by de Minaur's speed, just kept missing short into the net. And then it clicked into place. Before it cost him, before it was a problem that that Bublik was missing drop shots, he kind of found the range on it, and he was following it up really well. I don't know that he hit any drop shot winners in the match. Maybe one at the most. But he started hitting it as an approach shot and executing it well enough where he got de Minaur to hit up on the ball, come in behind it with either easy passing shots or lob volleys. He did it once in the game at 6-5 when he had to serve out the match. So he ended up finding it at the very end of the match, and it probably helped him through. But this is just more evidence that Roland Garros Bublik is real. Post Las Vegas Bublik is real. Whatever kind of timeline you want to put on it, after his terrible first quarter of 2025, which was really a bad 52-week stretch, the switch of the racket and just the switch of the mindset when he got really desperate and kind of hit rock bottom, to a point where his ranking was really threatening his survival as a tour player. It all kind of shifted around. And when Bublik was going through with his Roland Garros results and then eventually his Hollow results, it was not just hot serving. It was not just a purple patch. It was a sustainable difference that Bublik has made. He has figured out how to be a winning player at a much, much higher level than he'd ever previously achieved. So first Masters 1000 semifinal. De Minaur will still go home happy. He clinched Turin yesterday. Great accomplishment for Alex. Back-to-back years for him after having never done that previously in his career. but it is 2 wins in a row for Bublik over de Minaur in the head-to-head. By the way, you could point to Bublik coming back from down 2-0 against de Minaur at Roland Garros as a turning point in Sasha's season. So in some ways, a full circle moment here in Paris. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.